The Hudson Bay and James Bay lowlands of northern Ontario form one of the world's most vital carbon sinks and life-supporting ecosystems. Known in Cree as Muskeg, these vast peatlands store over 35 billion tons of carbon and every year sequester millions more, helping to stabilize the global climate. Home to the Omushkego Cree, the water people, this region is among one of Canada's most climate-vulnerable regions. Thanks to our grassroots client, the Friends of the Attawapiskat River, this is a region we've come to know and appreciate both for its profound cultural and ecological importance. Because of climate change, which is causing changes to seasons, the erosion of banks along major rivers, and creating less dependable ice cover, their way of life is being altered. It impacts their access to wild foods, their harvesting, and ceremonial practices. That's why in the last of our 5-part series, we're bringing you a shared story, a case study of Indigenous-led climate response, emphasizing how access to justice and environmental justice are inseparable from upholding Indigenous natural laws and shared treaty promises. The Hudson Bay and James Bay lowlands are the homelands of the Indigenous communities that were signatories to Treaty 9. The region's ecological wealth underpins traditional ways of life, it's a nursery for biodiversity, and it supports threatened species like woodland caribou, wolverine, and sturgeon, and it's a sanctuary for hundreds of migratory birds.
There's been a lot of changes there. And one time we could go out in the bay, let's go out for a day's hunt, and we can get 200, 300 geese in the fall. And that would last us the winter because we would give it out into the community. We would share it. No, we can't do that. I have a hard time. The migration route of the geese is changing. It's getting harder and harder to hunt moose. But everything I was taught to share. So you get a moose, you take a moose. And if there's 4 people, then it's divided by 4. And those 4 people, all those 4 people end up giving away, sharing it. And your portion ends up small. But we take care of each other by doing that. We lived here for thousands of years since the beginning of time. It's only in the last 400, 500 years. You see how much damage that was done by the people who came over. Because they took the value of the money they call, became more of a god to them than the land itself.
So that river is about 240 miles. We have Attawapiskat Lake, so we have other communities, Nishkanjaga, Webakwe, Summer Beaver, Fort Hope, and Okoki, Attawapiskat, Pewanik, Fort Albany, Cache. So we have concerned people. We have grave sites. We have ceremonial sites. We have traditional grounds, hunting grounds. We have camps. We don't own the land. We harvest the wild game, the wildlife, the fish, to sustain our livelihood. We don't own it. We share that land. So anything that being sold and to claim this is my land, we don't see it that way. We are the caretakers for that land. So what they're saying is they're going to build something, and they're going to disturb something. And natural law, if you disturb something, you're going to destroy something. So we have to say something.
Environmental justice issues are particularly prevalent in the Hudson-James Bay lowlands, where, despite having the world's second largest peatland and carbon sink, significant mining projects risk irreparable harm to this globally unique ecosystem and repercussive impacts to the health and environment of those whose natural laws and treaty rights depend on it.
Our creation stories, us as a people, are a part of this Mother Earth, the creation part. So we're like caretakers, but as well as the lands are taking care of us. And we respect that. We come to understand that it's important for the world to understand that we still care about our mother. Because like part of our country here, our lands and stuff in the north here, it's a part of the whole world, our Mother Earth. Our Muskeg. It's like my dad said, our Muskeg. It's like the lungs of the earth. Once they start messing with the lungs of the earth, it affects other parts too.
If there's a little bit of hope left, focus that hope and to preserving what's out there. They never used to come here and look at it because we're just a muskeg. But we have the largest muskeg in the world. One of the largest. Now they're looking underneath it. All they see is money. That's under there. They don't see the life it sustains. And muskeg could be sustaining the world. Keeping it healthy. Bringing that balance. We need to bring those scales even. Think of your grandchildren. Your Japans that are way, that are not even born yet. Think of them. Leave them a good place, a clean place.
As we learn from the Friends, as grassroots community members working to protect the health of their waters, protecting the Hudson-James Bay lowlands is not only crucial for meeting climate goals and conserving biodiversity, but for upholding natural law and understanding that treaties are living agreements with reciprocal promises to be kind, to be honest, and to share. Recognizing that trauma to the land is trauma to human health and well-being, the Friends' efforts encourage us to recognize the importance of ceremony and land-based healing.
If you grab the earth, Ugawim, and you do a prayer, not only are you praying for yourself, you're praying for people in your community, your lands, because you have Mother Earth in your hand, and you're doing a prayer. And you finish your prayer and you put it back on the ground. That prayer goes right to the center of her because there's a fire at her core. That fire is original fire, my mom said. You gotta understand that story too. It's a part of our creation. Because that prayer goes all through the earth, Mother Earth. Imagine, she said, how many people are praying at the same time for the same thing.
If you look at our ancestors, there's over 4,000 of them. They lived in harmony with the land. And they didn't change a thing. The land that was still the same. It was 400 years ago. And all these little take 1 year, 2 years, 5 years to change all that. And it'll never be the same. And what are we going to leave our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, the next generation? The question they'll have, why didn't you do something? Our children are sick because you didn't do anything, you didn't say anything. Because the land is also a spiritual being. And that's where our strength comes from. Comes from the Creator, comes from the land. And they don't want to hear about that. Because the land we talk about, to us it's a living entity. Because there is something called Bastamon. What you do to it will come back to you. If you harm the land, all that harm will come back to you. Maybe it'll come back as a sickness, starvation. Maybe all the diseases that we haven't seen yet. We'll have no cares for it. All the money in the world's not going to save you.
Their work as land protectors serves as a reminder to us all of our duty of care to these sacred places. Similar to environmental justice, climate justice recognizes that Indigenous peoples face greater impacts from climate change for many reasons, including food and water insecurity, and because their inherent and treaty rights are so intrinsically linked to the well-being of the ecosystems they rely upon, which means they stand to lose the most in a changing climate. In these communities, the concepts of access to justice and environmental justice are far from abstract. They are deeply rooted in everyday life, and as treaty partners, we too have a responsibility to ensure natural laws and treaty promises are upheld. Thanks for joining us on our 5-part series. We encourage you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and check out the links in the description below to access the other videos in this series and the materials in our resource library.